Academic presentations make us nervous. Even though we have already done many of them, we always feel underprepared. Yet, many important academic milestones require a presentation. In this issue of the Student Success Journey, I share the process I currently use. You can adopt the whole process or pick the tips you like. And don't forget to download the checklist version at the end for easy reference. My biggest achievement this month, April 2026, was passing my comprehensive exam. This milestone moved me from a PhD student to a PhD candidate. I shared a glimpse of my last-minute revisions in a LinkedIn post. Even after over 20 years as a student, I am still exploring new ways to improve my learning and academic performance. Last year, I streamed a deep dive video with my husband on how we prepare, deliver, and reflect on our presentations. I still do everything I shared there with a few updates to some steps, so here is the updated version. Preparation phase. I watch at least one presentation by an expert on the subject on YouTube. I select talks from reputable conferences that cover a background topic from my talk. In cryptography, I prioritize IACR conferences. If time permits, I watch both the long version and the short version of the same talk. This doubles as a refresher for the topic and a way for me to understand what an expert level talk looks like. I identify the primary audience for my presentation before I write anything. Are they professors, students? At what level? What do they know? What is important to them? Why do they attend my talk? This allows me to tailor my content to fit their interests and needs. For example, in my comprehensive exam, my primary audience was my PhD committee members. They are there to evaluate whether I am ready to graduate in a year. My family, my friends, and my pastor were there to support me. They may be interested in learning more about cryptography, but they are not the primary audience. If I am presenting for grades, I ask the teacher for the rubric. Before coming to the US, I did not know that I should do this. My grades for presentations and essays were always opaque to me. Knowing the rubric beforehand will help me prepare a presentation that will get at least a B. For my comprehensive exam, I asked one of my examiners beforehand what a successful presentation looks like to him. Now on to the writing phase. I define the structure of the talk first. Using a structure, I can see beforehand how many slides each section will take and can add or remove parts as needed. It's not fun to write 50 slides and then have to remove 20 of them. I also use slide templates. I created a Beamer template in my first year and still use it. Thinking about style, fonts, and colors every time I need to make slides is a time-consuming, unrewarding task. I also write the major results first. Sometimes there is a part I really like in the background and I want to spend a lot of time on it. It's painful to have to trim it down, but my audience is attending my talk to hear my contributions and main points. I can always present any fun background information in a math club talk. Depending on the time available, I may state significant theorems and skip the proofs unless the proof is my own work. I keep these omitted proofs in my notes in case the examiners ask me about them. I use images when possible. I'm a visual person and most of the time an image is the best way to explain an algorithm. For the editing phase, I do multiple rounds of edits. I take a break before each editing round. This is a classic piece of advice I've heard from teachers and other writers. Often, we read what we think we have written rather than what's on the page. Taking a break will give me that fresh-eyed perspective, even if it's a 5-minute break. I export the slides as a PDF and print them or read them with another app. I record myself during the presentation out loud in my Riverside studio while sharing the screen. If you have never heard of Riverside, it's an online recording tool that lets you edit your video from the transcript. I started using Riverside to record interviews and found that its features are great for other uses too. You do not need to get a paid subscription to use it for presentation preparation. If remote recording isn't an option for you, you can also use your phone's camera and rewatch the whole video. When I record, if I find a typo or something I want to change, I just say edit and say the edit I want to make. Then I continue the presentation without losing my track. I wait until I've read everything before applying the edits. After the presentation, I click end and wait for the video to process, then I go back and search for edit in the transcript. This allowed me to find 4 pages worth of self-edits in one pass while planning my comp. I also do this round of editing for my newsletter now. I rehearse my presentation with a beta audience and have them take notes and suggest edit on pacing, visuals, and timing. After I'm happy with that editing round, I read the slides again, put myself in the position of a committee member, and ask critical questions. Then I go back to read the literature on these topics and to prepare my answers. I write everything down because writing helps me think. When I'm happy with the slides, I write a full script which has the slide number and the expected time. I am to present with a script, but a script is still a safety net. I had brain fog once during a very important exam and failed. With a full script, I know that even if brain fog occurs again and I understand nothing I have prepared, I can just read my script. Done is better than none. For presenting, I bring my full script with me. I flip its page as I go from slide to slide. I use the stopwatch on my phone so that I can adjust my time. I know I speak really fast when I'm nervous. Even after playing comedy with myself during the preparation phase, I cannot predict all the questions. If I do not know how to answer a question, I just say that's an interesting question and I will look into that. After the presentation, when I'm done, I reflect on the preparation, my delivery, and the questions. I note what went well and what I want to change next time. Usually a presentation is not one and done. I reused some of my comprehensive exam slides in a guest lecture the following week. How about you? Have you given a presentation recently? How do you prepare for a presentation? Which of the tricks I use here would you want to try? This step-by-step method is available for download as a PDF. I put the link below.